Most of us don't choose our partners despite convincing ourselves that we do. And there could be several reasons for this. And why is this a problem? A lot of people are in unhappy relationships and find that their partner doesn't meet their needs or their expectations. And so conflict starts up and this isn't working and that's not working. Now, and, uh, and what this video is about, those kind of issues and where they possibly come from. So we don't always choose who we want to be with. Sometimes, and if this is you, it is difficult to admit, and people don't like to admit this. Sometimes it was the only person who gave us attention. And it could be a multitude of reasons for that. Maybe you're introverted, maybe you're shy, maybe you're timid, maybe you have a small social network. Maybe you moved somewhere and you were a stranger and someone showed you some attention and a little bit of a bond started up. And without thinking about it, you entered into a relationship. Some people talk about falling into a relationship. Some people talk about love at first sight, which could be infatuation or limerence or whatever could be going on, or lust. So often we don't actively, consciously choose a partner. It's normally once we've gone through one, two, maybe three, or a few bad relationships, we start going, hang on a minute, I keep picking the same person here, and it's always ending in disaster. So maybe I actually need to decide what I want and what I choose. We'll come on to that in a bit. Now, I'm going to go all Oedipal on you for a moment, but that's not the entirety of this video because it gets a little bit more complex than the Greek myth or the Freudian concept of Oedipal concept. So there is quite a bit of weight in the idea or the concept of your parents become the blueprint of what to expect from a relationship and what to expect from a male and a female. This gives a heavy influence. So the characteristics that your parents have, and the attributes, excuse my eye, those become how to interact with those characteristics and attributes that your parents have, whether they're positive, negative, somewhere in between, erratic, confusing, contradictory, whatever. We learn to survive that situation. And that gives us a blueprint of what to expect. Now, what we then do is we head towards the familiar because the brain loves familiar. The brain is not interested, your nervous system is not interested in what is good for you because it doesn't have that outward conscious experience, particularly. That's for you and your conscious mind to decide, along which often comes with experience, because experience brings knowledge, which then brings wisdom, one would hope. We do tend to head towards family or dynamics and characteristics and attributes that were familiar from childhood because there is that safety in that because you, like I said, you can run your script, you know how to be in those dynamics. Now there's another twist to this as well, which is a lot of people tend to focus on what happened to them in their younger years. Oh, this happened to me and that happened to me. And sometimes it's justified, it's all relevant, it all needs to be worked with. But sometimes there can be big disasters. Mum and dad divorced, one of my parents died, everything was toxic, I was abused verbally, physically, sexually. And these are all issues that need dealing with. A lot of people experience bullying at school, being rejected, humiliated, all of these things along the way. Okay. But what we tend to chase alongside the familiar, and because humans are wonderfully complex and paradoxical, we tend to chase our unmet needs. So it's not necessarily that we go and chase, let's say we experienced a lot of drama. Now, drama, and let's say we had an emotionally unavailable parent. Let's go with that one. An emotionally unavailable partner is going to be familiar. We will chase within that an unmet need. This is where everything gets a bit layered and a bit complex. And sometimes people go, that's really twisted of me to do this. It's all happening on an unconscious level. You're trying to solve a problem, which Freud did actually tap into as well, as a side note. So if you the benefit of finding someone who is like your parent or your parents, generally the opposite sex, is that you know how to be with that dynamic. Okay. So if your mother was emotionally unavailable, or your father was absent, those are very cliche and stereotypical, but let's roll with them. And you come across someone who is absent, work driven, emotionally unavailable, you're kind of going, your nervous system goes, whoa, this feels good. It doesn't say it feels good for me. It is good for me, sorry. It's, oh, this feels good. I know how to be in this. We can play this game. That's okay because I know the rules of this game. What you then start chasing are your unmet needs. And these are less less constructed in your mind. They are less conscious. So your unmet needs, if you have an emotionally unavailable parent or a parent who's absent, dips in and out, like physically, then you will then start to, from your partner, try to draw out their emotional availability. I need you to be emotionally available. I need you to be physically available. Stop being locked in your work. Stop being stuck in your hobbies. Stop spending all your time with your friends. I need you to be here because what's going on unconsciously is no one was there for me back then. My parent was disorganized, erratic, with unpredictable with their availability of love, tenderness, nurturing, emotional availability, those kind of things. So we find someone who reminds us unconsciously as a reflection of childhood, and then we try to correct it. So we start trying to change our partner. I need you to do this. I need you to be that. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Why can't you do this? Oh, it would be so much simpler if you did. And the reason we're doing that is because, like I said, and I know I probably sound like I'm on repeat, I found you. My nervous system knows how to be around this. But now, if I can change it, then I solve the problem in the here and now and I get this big reward. But not only do I solve it in the here and now, I solve back then and there on this unconscious level. And then I don't have to change anything about me and I don't have to change anything about my nervous system because I've changed you. And that's the reward. That's the jackpot. The only thing is it doesn't happen. It maybe happens in increments. But the thing is, nobody can meet your needs. And before you all roll your eyes at me, go, I kind of need my partner to meet my sexual needs, and I need my partner to meet these type of needs and that type of needs, and I don't want to be lonely, and etc. etc. The thing is, there are some needs where it needs the other person, sexual needs, intimacy, touch, praise, validation, but you can't rely on it 100% from the other. You have to be able to give that validation to yourself. You have to be able to, or you don't have to, maybe that's the wrong choice of words. It's beneficial for you if you can validate yourself from within. Then when your partner validates you, it's an added bonus. It's beneficial for you to be comfortable in your own skin, comfortable around yourself, comfortable in your own time. Have things that you can do that are yours, that belong to you, that you chose to do, not because, and I'm going off at a tangent, but not because someone back there, oh, my dad used to like doing that, and that's why I like doing this. And I never really thought about it too much, just followed suit. So a lot of us are actually imprinted with things that don't belong to us, and choosing partners or falling for certain partners, if you like, with unconscious awareness is one of them. Then chasing these unmet needs. If you can fulfill your needs to a level that is humanly possible within yourself, it puts you in a strong standing with a partner. You will place less demands on your partner. You will be less antagonistic. You will be less critical. You will be less controlling of them because you don't need them to be something different to what they actually are in order for you to feel safe and okay and comfortable with yourself. What you will do is you will start not gravitating towards people who cannot meet your needs or complement your ability to meet your own needs. Those people will become unattractive to you naturally. You will start gravitating towards people who are fully functioning, self-regulating, self-governing. Yeah, they're not going to be perfect because nobody's perfect. Everybody's got issues, everybody's got quirks and ticks and tweaks and all the rest of it. We all need a little bit of a tune up here and there. And also that's what makes us all wonderfully beautiful and unique. But what it will do is bring the level of conflict and demand and control down several notches and create some kind of harmony within the relationship that you're having. And it's at this point when people start making these changes and start working towards meeting their own needs that people start then actively, consciously choosing who they want to be with. Now, one way to do this is if you find yourself coming out of one, two, several, whatever toxic relationships or relationships that weren't healthy for you, because That person might be healthy for somebody else. But let's say you're now sitting there and you're considering what sort of a relationship you want, what sort of a partner you want. This is a great opportunity to start writing down some of these things you want. Start designing your partner. It might sound a bit odd, but if you actually say, I would like somebody who has the ability who's comfortable with taking accountability. That might be one. And then ask yourself why. Why do you need someone to be with someone who takes accountability? And the answer might be quite obvious. And it might be because it makes conflict resolution easier. In fact, it makes conflict resolution happen. And I've been used to not having resolution to conflict. And when someone won't take accountability or blame shifts or whatever, then it just causes me distress. And I really don't need this energy drain in my life anymore. And it's also a mark of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. So actually, I'm looking for someone who can take accountability and is comfortable with doing that, or at least fluent with doing that, because it's not very comfortable most of the time to take accountability. Or it might be someone who's emotionally available, someone who's cool with their emotions, or maybe you don't need them to be. This is the thing. We often try, and Esther Perel talks about this, we often try and find a partner, or at least shape, morph, carve, chip away at a partner and bend them until they fulfill every need. I need you to be my lover and my emotional safety, and also someone who I can wander away from and go and do my own thing. And I need you to do this and I need you to do that. And it's way too much for most people unless you are godlike and have a ton of time and energy on your hands and you've reached a state of zen. It doesn't exist, basically. So it's that kind of designing your partner and what needs you need met, which were unmet back then and there. That's a big clue as to what you need. And then you look at those and you decide, actually, I could do that for me. I need to learn to do this for me. I need to learn to do that for me. And the other thing is, if you expect the other person to do it, or you want that from the other person, ask yourself, can I do this? If you need somebody to be emotionally available, are you emotionally available? Because if you're not, then you're projecting. You're projecting it out. It's almost like you're delegating the work out, which means that you're not actually going to be able to match or step up to the mark of what it is that you actually want. And if that other person is fulfilling what you need, chances are they need you to, or they will want you to, and they will expect you to fulfill it back, or at least be on the same level and par, which is also a difficult one to get your head around sometimes, because you go, oh, I've got to step up now. It's that goes back to that question of, would you date you? Would I date me? I know I've got a few quirks, got a few things I need to work on, but mostly I would. And sometimes it can be a work in progress. Choosing a partner can be, you don't have to choose someone who's perfect and ready made. It's that work in progress kind of thing. If someone is putting the effort in to make changes, to improve themselves, to move out of the childlike state, I want you to do this for me, I want you to rescue me, then that person is already growing. They're already on that path, that trend, and it's not going to change. It's not it's not going to stop. It's going to ebb and flow, but it's not going to stop because they're already of that kind of mindset. Ultimately, where you're heading towards is wanting to be in a relationship with a person, a certain type of person that suits you, and not needing to be with a certain type of person. Because if you need to be with that, then that puts you in a vulnerable position and it depowers you. If you want and you actively choose and you decide to stay and you decide to work on yourself and they decide to work on themselves and you keep improving and you work on the relationship, you're going to have longevity. You're going to have a lot of periods of harmony. You're going to have a pretty fulfilling relationship, both with yourself and with the other.